5, 4, 3, 2. Oh yeah, we are starting things up here, going live, and for the first time I will be also going Facebook Live. I am ready. 3, 2, 1. I believe I am live, dual live, 2 locations. Technology is amazing. I love it. You love it. I'm Dan Salem here to talk New York Jets football. That's right. This is my season kickoff show. I've been talking Yankees here on BuzzChomp's YouTube since the start of the season. But the season pretty much ended at the trading deadline for New York. They won the year, in my opinion. We can talk a little bit of A-Rod. Maybe I'll touch on a couple other notes about the Yankees towards the end of this live broadcast. But Jets football, they started training camp last week. They got their first preseason game this Thursday against the Jaguars. This is the New York Jets NFL live stream season kickoff show. I will be doing a show weekly here on my Facebook Live. Dan Salem on Facebook live streaming weekly, as well as on BuzzChomp's YouTube. The Dan Salem on Twitter, on Facebook. You're watching me there. You guys on YouTube, you can find me over there. BuzzChomp on YouTube. 3 Z's if you want to go to Twitter and Facebook. Just 2 on YouTube, even easier. Weekly, 5 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays once the week's over. I mean, they're Monday night games. Got to let it digest. Got to assess the next week's opponent. And we'll dive right in here. Tuesday afternoons, evenings for you East Coasters. Talking New York Jets football. Again, at The Dan Salem on Twitter and Facebook. At BuzzChomp on Twitter and Facebook with 3 Z's. Or over on YouTube with a single letter Z. All right. Enough of that advertising BS shenanigans, because we want to talk some Jets football. As you can see, I got an old school Jets t-shirt, which was new school for a while, but now it's old school because we went back to these logos several years ago. But that was the logo I grew up with. Sayonara to the Yankees season. There's a couple of tidbits to touch on, but more or less, it's all football. It's all Jets football. Big highlight for me this week. Ryan Fitzpatrick lost a bet, shaved his head. How awesome is that? All right. You know your team has good camaraderie when your starting quarterback loses a bet to a rookie and shaves his head. He owned up to the bet. That's good stuff. That is great chemistry. Why did we want Ryan Fitzpatrick back so badly? That is the epitome of it right there. He owned up to his bet with a rookie, no less, who got to shave his head in midfield during the end of practice, and now he's kind of got a buzzed bald head. But he kept the beard. Larry David's not happy with it. I like the beard. He's a mountain man. Makes him stand out. I can always pick out Ryan Fitzpatrick on the football field because his beard sticks out from beneath his chin strap. Also, it's just kind of unique and funny, and it fits his personality. Don't take that away from him. I did read that he may get rid of it because of Larry David's request, because he's a big fan of David. Okay, that's a perfectly good reason to shave, I suppose. And maybe a little fists were thrown. That is good for team chemistry. The offense and the defense getting at it. These are 2 Pro Bowl players, potentially 2 Hall of Fame players, pushing one another to be the best they could possibly be in practice before the preseason is even started. They're hungry. They want a championship. They're both near the end of their careers, and they are just jawing and going at it and pushing each other at it. It's like, oh yeah, that's what Rex Ryan kept preaching, and he went a little too far. Well, these guys got to live it on their own, and that's good stuff. You don't need the coach throwing it at you. You got the players bringing it up. That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to read. I also like to see that one of our rookie wide receivers is having quite a few great days of practice here. Instead of just throwing out that, let's say his name. Since he's a rookie, I need to look it up. So give me one moment. Oh, well. It is none other than wide receiver Sharon Peak. Yes, I had to find it. Sharon Peak. He was a 7th round pick out of Clemson, and he's been having a great camp so far. I like this. I get that we're going to see him in action on Thursday night. So, perfect transition, segue. Thank you, Dan. Thursday night, the Jets start their season officially on the turf against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Preseason opener at home. Very nice, very nice. It'll be 4:30 p.m. out here Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern. Nice early afternoon game. Starts right at happy hour. Not a coincidence for us West Coasters. And we're going to get a little bit to see of our Jets in action. I'm excited to see these rookies. I bet that Hackenberg gets at least a quarter of action. Maybe we have 4 quarterbacks, right? So, no. Fitzpatrick's only going to get like a series at most. But Smith will get a couple series, and then we'll get Bryce Petty and Hackenberg in there to see which one really owns that roster spot. I don't think we carry all 4 quarterbacks into the regular season. I have a feeling one of them is going to win the preseason, and the other is going to have to find a new team to play for. Those are the breaks. It's probably Petty on the outside because we just drafted Hackenberg. It's unlikely we'll cut him. But Petty's going to have to play his way onto the team to keep his position. Or he could steal that backup spot from Geno. I don't see it happening, but it's an open option, you know. I mean, it's not unheard of. Quick look here. Okay. I got no questions on the YouTube. If you're sending me questions on Facebook, I don't think it works that way, which is good. If it does, I apologize. I'll answer them after. Back to the Jets. So Thursday night against the Jaguars. Now, if this was the regular season, I'd have some comments because I'm pretty high on Jacksonville and them taking the next step this year. They got a good shot in the AFC South. The Jets, they got a really good shot in the East. So I like all 4 teams in the AFC East. But let's really assess the division here. This is the season kickoff. Let's assess the division. The Patriots are division champions. They're defending champions of the division. They are the frontrunners to finish on top of this division. I kind of think they do. I have a feeling that we are going to split with them. We tend to split with them when we're good. We don't ever really win both games against the Patriots. It's just they're too good. Belichick is too good for us to beat them both times. So we probably split with New England. And if I had to guess, they probably finish 1 game higher than the Jets. If the Jets end up with 11 wins, it's the Patriots going to be with 12. If the Jets have 10, the Patriots with 11. Both are playoff teams, in my opinion. Yes, the Jets are going to make the playoffs this season. But realistically, I think the Patriots win the division. Now, it's going to be real. And making an official prediction. I just answered that question. What synchronicity, huh? What synchronicity? Did it come in before I asked and started talking? It must have. It must have. I know you did. All right. I asked before you answered. So I answered the question without reading the question, kind of like ESP to my audience. Got it. So Thursday, I want to see Fitzpatrick back on the field because he was in limbo for so many weeks. It seemed like it was the summer of limbo. I wrote about that on BuzzChomp. It was the summer of limbo. I'm always looking forward to the Jets season. Wasn't looking forward to it until Fitzpatrick signed on that dotted line. He did it the day before training camp opened. No coincidence there. Great news. And I was back on board. So I'm going to tune in for the first series because I want to see the starters go at it for a series. But there's a lot of people missing. Mo Wilkerson probably not going to be playing. Matt Forte not going to be playing. He's still nursing his hamstring injury. I'll get to that in a second. I want to see a little bit of these rookies getting some action here, okay? Darren Lee, yeah, he's already like looking to make the first team. I'm impressed, and we don't have a dynamic. I take that back. We haven't had a dynamic linebacker in a long time. If he can win like third down duties for the season, that'd be amazing. And then second-year player Malden starting at linebacker looks like I want to see him take that next step, next level, and really get after the quarterback and just disrupt things in the backfield. Our linebackers got to make waves this season. It's going to, I mean, the defensive line's there. We got to make waves at the linebacker position. It was our weakest link last season. I want to see what this kid looks like. I'm excited. You know, you bring in a new quarterback no matter when you draft him. It's fun. You want to see he's got much going. Jacksonville got a nice young quarterback, Blake Bortles. He probably won't see more than a series, but they got a really fun team to compete against. Did we get them in the regular season? I'm just taking a peruse. Oh, well, it's probably better we don't because they're a good team. Like, people would say, oh, that's not an easy game. They got 2-star receivers. Great running game. I like what Jacksonville's doing, and so I'm glad they're not on our schedule. And then I guess now I also want to watch for Sharon Peak, Hackenberg to Peak, because Peak's making waves in practice. He's going to get his time in the game. What else? I'm not going to talk about Tim Tebow because if he plays baseball, more power to him, but that's a time in the Jets' history I'd rather forget, even though they're making headlines, asking their team about it. The little Fitzpatrick, Larry David news I mentioned. Okay, to the injury front, Jason Morrow tweaked his knee today in practice. He's okay. He was back up running around, so we're okay. We really need him if we want the tight end position to get going this season. Matt Forte, biggest absence notable from practice. Actually, all our running backs, more or less. He's going to be fine for the regular season. When you got a hamstring injury, you let it come along. You don't rush that. You don't rush it at all. You give it its time to really heal up. And we need him at 100%. I bet he plays the final preseason game, but not any of the three before it. Maybe he gets a series in the third one, but he'll play the majority with the first team on the fourth preseason game, and then he'll be ready to go week one against, oh yeah, Cincinnati. We're gonna prove ourselves week one, baby. Yeah, forget injuries. They'll heal up before the regular season. We are gonna prove ourselves week one because Cincinnati, I mean, they're division winners, I think 5 years in a row, playoff team 5 years in a row. They are a great regular season football team, winning double digits multiple years in a row now. We're going to take it to them. We're at home. Until you want to open up the season at home, we get the victory week one and just set the tone for this season. I am really, really happy about the season. Last year exceeded my expectations. This year, I'm psyched to watch our offense. Like, we've had a great defensive team for many, many years, but offense is more fun, and we've been a little bit lacking up until last season with our playmakers. Oh, baby. Can't wait. Can't wait for this week one action against the Bengals. It will be on none other than 9/11, a 10 a.m. game out here. Yep, 1 p.m. Eastern, but they're all nice and early for me on the West Coast. Hit that DVR, skip the commercials, come in at halftime, and end on time. That's the way I roll. I also wanted to mention August 27th, Jets-Giants. I love this preseason game. They tried to name it the Snoopy Bowl and give out a trophy when Rex Ryan was our coach. I don't know if they did away with that after Mark Sanchez injured himself, but I like this intertown rivalry. We don't always get to face off in the regular season. No, we don't this year. I believe we did last season. But we get the Giants every year in the preseason, and that's great. We actually get 3 of the 4 teams in the East. We get Redskins, Giants, Eagles. We're playing the whole NFC East in the preseason. That division. I write a lot for NFL Spin Zone. We will be doing our picks for each division this year, but lo and behold, yeah, we picked, Todd, my brother, and I picked the AFC East as tops. Yeah, the AFC East is best. They're the best division in all of football, top to bottom. There's not really a weak out in that division. Every other division's got one, not the East. It's going to be a tough year, but a fun year. So, can we improve upon last season? Well, team stats. We were 11th points for, 9th points against. That's really good. I mean, we were a 10-win team. We didn't make the playoffs, but we were top 10 defense points against, almost top 10 offense for points for. We got to improve on those to make the playoffs because, we weren't a playoff team, so it obviously wasn't good enough. But I like that. The key here is passing yards 13th, rushing yards 10th. We need to see some improvement. Basically, we had too many turnovers last year, and we came up short at the end, obviously. But there were a couple other games that really just got away. A turnover or 2 less, and those are victories, and we're in the postseason. Now, it wasn't meant to be, but it was really a great building block for 2016. We got a ton of veteran talent and a lot of youth mixed in. They're blending really well. This is a team that is built to win this year. Any further questions for the audience? Because until the Jets play the Jaguars on Thursday night, we don't have any on-field action to talk about. Next Tuesday, I will talk about that game and preview the game on Friday, the 19th, where they face off at Redskins, which should be an interesting matchup. We'll see. We'll know more who's going to play and how much after this week's game, and that will really give us a good sense of this team. But right now, everyone's high Got a few guys coming off the physically unable to perform list this week. That's good. Running back Kyrie Robertson, Mo Wilkerson, and only a few guys not practicing, notably Matt Forte, and we got linebacker Trevor Riley and cornerback Dex McDougal. They're both injured, all three of them. Forte's the notable one. He'll be back soon. Like I said, I predicted week 3. So, to wrap things up today, I will go back to where I started this live stream action on YouTube, and although this is my first Facebook live stream, you're going to get a little New York Yankees discussion as well. Because I'm a New York sports fan, and I am a Yankees fan, and a Jets fan. It's an odd combination, so I will throw a bone to the Giants from time to time this season because I know a lot of people are Giants fans also, especially Yankees fans who may have started with me on that team. The Yankees. Mark Teixeira announced he will retire at the end of the season. I'm sad to see him go, but he was not playing up to his former level this year. He's been battling a ton of injuries, and I'm not sure there was a spot for him on this team's roster next season. So glad to see him retire as a Yankee. He's going to hold a special place in my heart. One of my favorite players on this odd amalgamation of star talent that began all those years ago and won the title in 2009. Alex Rodriguez announced that he will step down from playing baseball for the Yankees. So they're basically doing the cut him move that we discussed, except this is a more polite way of letting him glide off into the sunset as a Yankee. He's going to be an advisor to the team for the final month, so he will stay with the team, which is very good because you don't want to just kick him to the curb. I mean, he's been great for the young players. He's been great on the bench all season long. Like, he's just always a smile, and that's saying something after the crap that A-Rod put the Yankees through over the last couple of years and the reputation he has, that he's just been a good guy. And I really trust Teixeira's opinion. He's excellent. He tells the truth. And him and A-Rod are friends, and he's loved playing with A-Rod and loved him in the locker room. So that tells me that A-Rod's just bad at PR and bad at his image, but he's not really... I don't think he's a bad guy. He cheated the game of baseball at times, and consequently he cheated fans. He lied. But that doesn't make him an overall bad person. He's just made mistakes. He didn't... Yeah, he did hurt a few people. Okay, so, take a couple steps back there. A-Rod's made mistakes, but I feel as though, as a Yankee, he has redeemed himself. Maybe not as a person quite yet, but as a Yankee, he's redeemed himself over the last 2 seasons. Last year, being a good player and putting up good numbers obviously helped. So, he'll either be with the Yankees next year as a special advisor. Oh, I have a Facebook comment.
Forte, arrow like that. Ivory, does that mean greater or under?
The question is, do I see Matt Forte as greater than Chris Ivory or less than Chris Ivory? Unless the comment from the audience stating that you believe he is greater than Ivory. Well, they play 2 different styles of football.
It's a question mark.
Oh, it's a question mark. I'm getting these messages relayed as I am Facebook Living on my phone and can't read them directly, so I appreciate the assistance. Next time I'll flip it around and I can read them. That would be smarter. But this is my first time going, so give me a break. Forte and Ivory, 2 different styles of running back. But oh my goodness, Forte has just crushed it over his entire career. Ivory's had some very good seasons. He does not have the body of work that Matt Forte has. That is really the bottom line here. Now, Ivory enters this season fully healthy for the Jaguars. Forte is injured and not participating in practice yet. So at this current moment, Ivory's greater than Forte because Ivory's playing and Forte isn't. And we haven't seen Forte get back on the field since he hurt his hamstring. But ultimately, I like Matt Forte, the running back, more than I like Chris Ivory, the running back. Chris Ivory was a punishing running back, so much fun to watch. He was a great complement with Bilal Powell's speed, quickness, catching the ball out of the backfield. Forte is a monster catching the football out of the backfield. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, he can find him every time for a 2-yard pass and then just gun it for 6 or 8 down the field. I mean, the options are so open here with Forte in the backfield. We just need him healthy. I was diverged here. because I was mentioning the last couple thoughts on the Yankees. So A-Rod, he'll either play for another team next season if anyone wants to pick him up, or he'll be a special advisor to the Yankees for the remainder of his contract, because they're not going to cut him and just eat $20 million. Better get something out of him than nothing. But they don't want him to play baseball for them because they have other young players that can come in and fill his spot more admirably, better, more productively. So we'll see. If he's got any takers this offseason, then the Yankees will work something out, and that other team will steal half his salary, and everyone will be smiles. Otherwise, he'll be a special advisor to the young players, and it'll still be smiles because he's been all smiles. Speaking of Yankees, 2-2 against Boston here after 3 innings. Yep. That's why we moved on. Right. YouTube, I will be back next week talking New York Jets football. Peace Facebook Live. I will be back next week talking New York Jets football. Yeah, I didn't have to say that twice, but I got 2 cameras here, so I felt like talking 2 times. 5 p.m. Pacific, that's 8 Eastern, on Tuesdays after the NFL week has concluded, and we know who's ready to go for the following week of games. Perfect timing, in my opinion. Perfect timing. I'm talking Jets football. I'll throw a bone to the Giants. I'll throw a bone to the Yankees until their season wraps up officially. I'm Dan Salem, at the Dan Salem on Twitter and on Facebook. Here on BuzzChomp, YouTube, regular old BuzzChomp, 2 Z's like the word buzz, or on Twitter and Facebook with 3-letter Z's. All right, guys, until next week, I am out of here. Enjoy the rest of the baseball and the Jets playing on Thursday. Yeah. 5.